The hall of the Galactic Council stretched beyond sight. Thousands of delegates sat in silence as the image of Earth floated in the center of the chamber. Its blue glow reflected on the faces of those who once laughed at the species that called it home. Today that laughter was gone. The screens displayed no transmissions, no demands, no warnings. Humanity had gone silent. For the first time in recorded galactic history, silence was not peace. It was absence. The last known human envoy, a man named Daniel, had stood before the council 50 cycles ago. He had spoken with calm precision, warning of the growing hostility, the sanctions, the constant mockery aimed at his people. He did not raise his voice. He did not threaten. He simply ended his final statement with a single line that echoed through the hall. "We will not speak again." No one understood what he meant then. They understood now. At first, the council believed it was another human tactic to draw sympathy. They dismissed the silence as protest. The embargoes continued. Trade routes were cut, stations with human crews were denied docking rights. Entire colonies were isolated under the pretext of resource fairness. When humans stopped sending delegates, the council claimed victory. They told themselves that order had been restored, but order did not return. The void left by human ships disrupted the balance of the stars. Mining fleets from lesser species soon vanished in regions once protected by human patrols. Pirate bands grew bolder without the presence of Terran defense networks. The borders once patrolled by the Earth Coalition became lawless stretches of dark matter. The Council assembled countless times to debate how to stabilize these regions, yet no solution endured. The problem was not just absence, it was dependency. Humanity had built most of the infrastructure that sustained the trade arteries of the galaxy. They had maintained the beacons that guided navigation through gravitational storms. They had repaired relay networks, designed engines, and stabilized planets whose ecosystems had been ruined by council wars. Without human engineers, everything began to break. The first failure was the luminal relay network, an ancient chain of quantum gates maintained almost entirely by human crews. When the last maintenance ship vanished from the schedule, the gates began collapsing. Entire sectors lost communication overnight. Commerce faltered. Thousands of civilizations found themselves isolated. The council demanded to know where humanity had gone. Probes were sent toward Sol, but they found nothing but silence. The Sol system had been sealed. Massive structures surrounded its boundary, pulsing faintly with unknown energy. Every probe that entered was disintegrated without warning. No signal escaped from within. It was as if the humans had wrapped their home in an invisible fortress. Speculation filled the chamber halls. Some claimed humans had destroyed themselves. Others believed they had discovered technology beyond comprehension. A few whispered that they had simply grown tired of the galaxy. Time passed. The council moved on, or tried to. Yet something strange began to happen. Worlds once dependent on Terran trade began to decay. Engines built with human schematics failed without replacement parts. Food systems relying on Earth-designed bio-units started collapsing. Colonies starved. Starliners drifted helplessly. Then came the first message in decades, not from humans but from a council fleet stranded in deep space. Their message was short. "We found something." The transmission revealed a derelict station orbiting a dead moon. It was human-built, but unlike any design the council had seen. Its interior was empty, silent, preserved as if waiting. On one wall was a phrase written in dozens of galactic languages. "We asked for respect, not permission." The council dismissed it as propaganda. But fear began to grow. When the first energy storms began sweeping through the outer sectors, the fear became terror. These storms did not behave like natural phenomena. They moved with intent, bypassing some systems, annihilating others. Entire fleets disappeared. Council scientists tried to study them but found no pattern, no explanation. Some ships reported faint human signals within the storms, whispers in the static, coordinates transmitted in long-dead Terran code. The council tried to contact Earth again. No response. Soon, fragments of human satellites began appearing near major council worlds. They bore no weapons. They simply transmitted data streams showing images of decaying colonies, broken promises, treaties violated, and refugees the council had ignored. Then the screens went black, replaced by a single phrase, "We remember." That phrase echoed through the galaxy like thunder. It was not anger. It was fact. The council convened an emergency session. The oldest races debated whether humanity had declared war or was merely sending a warning. Some proposed forming an alliance to re-establish contact. Others wanted to destroy what remained of Earth's frontier outposts before it was too late. But when their fleets arrived at those outposts, they found nothing. Only empty stations, sealed habitats, and walls engraved with messages written by human hands. You wanted silence. You earned it. Each message carried the same tone: disappointment, not rage. Decades turned to centuries. The galaxy adapted poorly. Wars broke out over access to lost Terran technology. Entire sectors descended into chaos. The council fractured. Old allies turned against each other. Then one day everything stopped. Every ship, every beacon, every signal froze as a pulse of light rippled across the stars. It came from the direction of Sul. Sensors across the galaxy picked it up simultaneously. The humans had spoken again without words. From every major system, observers saw it. A vast structure unfolded beyond the boundary of the Sol system. A sphere of shimmering metal reflecting every color of the spectrum. Around it, thousands of smaller constructs began to move in perfect harmony. The humans had built something beyond understanding. No communication came, no invitation, no threat, only the silent display of creation on a scale no civilization had ever imagined. The council panicked. They called for dialogue, apologies, reconciliation. Messages were sent toward Sol begging for response. None came. Some races attempted to send fleets closer, desperate to re-establish contact or steal technology. None returned. Their final transmissions spoke of blinding light, gravity distortions, and then nothing. Over the next decades, human influence became myth. Children born across the stars grew up hearing stories about the species that once walked among them. The younger races doubted they ever existed. But the elders remembered. They remembered the ships that brought food during famines, the engineers who rebuilt dying worlds, the soldiers who defended colonies that were not their own, and they remembered the day those same humans left. Quietly, without a word. It was during the 1000th cycle after humanity's silence that the truth emerged. A fleet from the frontier reported finding a world where the sky shimmered with artificial constellations. Beneath those lights stood monuments covered in human markings. The planet was deserted but filled with cities carved from crystal and steel. No bodies, no voices, no machines. Only inscriptions left behind. Each monument bore the same message: we are not gone. We have simply grown tired of asking. The council gathered the message and displayed it before the galaxy. It was a confession, not from humans but from those who had ignored them. For the first time in galactic history, the council voted to acknowledge its own guilt. They built shrines in the ruins of Terran embassies. They swore oaths to never repeat their arrogance. But the shrines remained empty and the oaths meant nothing. The silence of humanity lingered like a shadow over every world. The galaxy had not just lost a species. It had lost the mirror that showed it what unity meant. In time, a new generation of explorers rose. They sought to rediscover Earth. The journey took lifetimes. Many perished. But one ship finally arrived at the edge of Sol. The barrier that had once destroyed every intruder was gone. In its place floated a single satellite. It transmitted one final message, a recording. It showed Earth, not as it was, but as it had become. The oceans were alive with light. The continents had changed shape, covered with energy structures glowing faintly blue. Above them orbited fleets of vessels shaped like living metal. Humanity had ascended to something higher, something the council could no longer comprehend. Then the image shifted to a single line of text, written in plain, universal code. We gave everything. You mocked our hand. Now we walk where your eyes cannot see. After the transmission ended, the satellite disintegrated into dust. The explorers returned to the council and delivered their findings. The chamber fell silent once again. No debate followed. No words were spoken. They simply watched the recording again and again, realizing the truth they had buried for centuries. Humanity had not abandoned the galaxy out of vengeance. They had left because there was nothing left worth saving, yet even in departure they had left signs of their compassion. Navigation beacons reactivated in the outer sectors, restoring lost routes. Power grids across decaying colonies came online again. Food production systems resumed operations. Everything worked seamlessly, but none of it responded to any council command. It was as if humanity had reached across the void one last time to fix what others had broken, without ever asking for thanks. No message followed. No ships appeared. The humans had done what they always did, helped quietly, without pride, without demand, and then they were gone again. 1,000 more years passed.